students, let us to come know about the hairs. Hairs are a remarkable features of the mammalian organism. You find the hairs on the body surface. Okay? And it is the characteristic feature of the mammals. They may cover entire body. If hairs cover the entire body, those kinds of mammals are called as furred animal. Furred, F-U-R-R-E-D, furred animals, or may be reduced to patches like the man, or to scatter the hairs like waves. Okay? Like scales and feathers, hair are also carnified epidermal products of the integument. Collectively, all the hairs covering the body of a mammal are known as phalanges. P-E-L-A-G-E, phalanges. Okay? That is called as phalanges. Phalanges means you must find the hairs on the body surface like the mammals. Okay? The mammals which are generally possessing the hairs on the body surface and the hairs which are collectively called in their phalanges, P-E-L-A-G-E. It is periodically lost by the molting and replaced by a new one. We have sometimes seen that type of scenario on the dog. Dog, especially in the rainy season, generally beginning of the winter, end of the rainy season and beginning of the winter, generally the hairs are shed off on their bodies and new hairs should be formed at the end of the winter. Okay? An entire body is covered with the hairs, not only dogs, cats. Okay? In case of your lamb, that means in case of the sheep, in there generally hairs remain on the body surface and entire hairs which are generally remain in their body surface named as phalanges, P-E-L-A-G-E. Okay, that is called as phalanges, P-E-L-A-G-E, phalanges. Okay, and it is periodically lost by the molting or ecdysis and replaced by the new hairs at that same place. Okay, I before listed to you the organism which are generally called as mammals. If they are possessing the hairs on the whole surface of the body, you can say they are the furred animals. But primates, you mark there in the gibbon, in the apes or in the monkeys, in there the entire body generally covered with the hairs, and that case is called as also be furred. The animal is known as in their furred animal. But except the human being, in human being you find the hairs in particular areas, not the entire body. Some places there is no hairs, in somewhere you also find the hairs also be there. Okay, so each hair originates from the bottom of a tubular invagination. Tubular invagination. Okay, and that is called as hair follicle. You mark here, and in there you find the hair follicle. You see, and it is one imaginary structure that is generally depressed within your skin, and it touches to the dermal layer, and you mark this one is called as hair follicle. Okay, and of the germinal layer or germinative layer of the epidermis and into the dermis, and that is generally buried within the dermis, but that is nothing, that is the germinative layer, which one is called as stratum germinativum. The stratum germinativum generally origin to it and that is called as the Malpighian layer. Okay, a dermal or hair papilla. The dermal or hair papilla. You see my finger, the position on the diagram. That is called as hair papilla. Okay, and containing the blood vessels and nerves. Generally, to it you find the blood vessel launch and nerve fibers also launch, and to this concavitalized structure. And actually, that portion, this portion is known as here the hair papilla. To it, the nerve leads. To it, blood vessel leads. The blood vessel generally carries the oxygen and nutrients to there, and also nerves also leads to there for the sensation. You see, all these vessels and structures are remaining there, and so it is more sensitive and highly vascularized, that our growth is known as hair papilla. Okay, and the hair papilla containing the blood vessels and nerves, and through the blood vessels the nourishment reaches at there. Generally, that hair papilla nourishes the nutrients from the blood, and the swollen portion of the root is here called as the root or called as the bulb, which bears a large one cylindrical structure named as sac. At the end, it is also tapering, and this structure is called as hair. Okay? Then the root and bulb remaining at the base, adding the new cells and forming the sap of the hair, and the cells of the sap becomes keratinized and also hardened by the bite and soon die, so that hair producing the above the skin is a dead structure. The portion of the hair just above the skin is the dead structure. Initially it has life, but laterally it lost its life and becoming dead under the process of keratinization. Okay, the cells of the sap becomes keratinized and hardened and soon die, so that the hair, the protruding above the skin, is a dead structure, and it is lubricated by only the secretion of one gland that is named as sebaceous glands. You see the label, the sebaceous glands, which generally adds the lubricating fluid to the hair follicle, and the hair follicle also be lubricated in there, automatically hair would be glistening in that place. Okay, and a smooth, the erector pili muscles is associated with each follicle, and here you find the muscle lumps. Generally, by the contraction of the muscles, automatically the hair would be exposed to outside. Okay, a smooth, the erector pili muscle is associated with each follicle. Typically, the hair shaft consists of 3 layers, and externally you must find the cuticle, and made up of the overlapping microscopic scales, and middlemost is called as cortex, and the containing the shriveled cells and the pigments. At the inner you find the medulla containing the hair spaces in the large hairs. Okay, and in the larger hairs you must find the hair spaces in the medulla. In the small hairs, the hair spaces will not be remaining there. And this is the structures. By them generally the hair is formed up. Hair generally constituted by 3 layers. Towards outer you find the cuticular layer. It is highly keratinized, there is no life. Then underneath of it you find the cortex is there. Then inner of it you find medulla is present. And by these 3 layers the hair wall is formed up. The chief function of the hair seems to be serves for the insulation of the body, and also sensitive the tactile organs, and generally it brings the sensation from the outer environment, and by the vibrissae which are remaining just under the nostrils, vibrissae. Vibrissae is one type of hair, and by them the organism can able to receive the sensation from the outer environment. Okay, and generally these are the very main features of the some wild animals, and also be rat, cat in them. And hairs have the several modifications named as the bristles, quills or spines, scales, horns, etc. and variously used in the also industry. And these are the very digging expression regarding the hair. You see, and here I will explain by one point, that is called as development of hair. After my introduction, next I will go to explain about the development of hairs. How the hair is formed. You see, each hair originates from the bottom of the a tubular invagination or the hair follicle. Mark, the entire one is the hair follicle. At the base you find the hair follicle is invaginated off and also giving one outgrowth that is called as your hair papilla. Okay, and you mark that at each hair originates from the bottom of a tubular invagination or hair follicle of the germinative layer of the epidermis into the dermis, and a dermal or hair papilla containing the blood vessels and nerves nourishes the swollen root or the bulb, okay, and adding the new cells and forming the entire shaft of the hair. The cells of the shaft becomes keratinized and hardened and should die, so that hair protruding above the skin is a dead structure. And you can feel that the deadness by the time of cutting your hairs by the barbers in the salon. And when the barbers you cut your hair, you cannot feel any type of sensation in there, no pain, no any type of pressure in there. And it is lubricated by only the secretion of sebaceous glands, which is present here by your hair follicle. From there the secretion comes, and by that secretion automatically the hair would be moist and cleansed. Okay, and a smooth erector pili muscles also be remaining in there, which is associated with each follicle, which erects the hair at the time of the stimulation or receiving the stimulation. Then come to know about your structures of the hair. This is the second point. Now I shall go through the structure of the hairs. And you take the cross section of the typical hair. You can show the three regions. Outer cuticle is made up of the overlapping microscopic scales. At the middle you find the cortex. Okay, and making the bulk contains the shriveled cells and pigments. At the center or inner you find the medulla. Okay, forming the central core. Contents is produced by the pigments within the intracellular spaces of the cortex, and white color is due to the absence of pigments together with the diffraction of the light from the air space between the cells of the medulla. Okay, if you regard the cross section of the hair, you must find three different layers. Okay, and this is the cuticle layer. This is called as cuticle, and this is called as the cortex. Cortex, cortex. Then for center you find the medulla. Okay, and these are the layers. By them the hair structure is formed, and they are remaining in the concentric forms. Okay. Then you know about the uses of hair. Some of the notable uses of the hair in mammals are as follows. I explain all these uses by these 6 different points. First point, hair impart the color and camouflage. Okay, hair impart the color and camouflage, and due to camouflage, the organism can escape from the enemies and predators. Okay, and hair form an insulating sheet by tapering the air with prevents undue loss of the heat from the body. It is very important and vital most function of the hair. Thirdly, impure mammals like your rabbits, rats, etc. The hairy covering, which one is called as pelage, forms a kind of the portable blanket for survival in cold. Okay, because the skin bears the numerous hairs on its surface, and which one giving the what? The warmness to the organism from the external coldness. Okay, it is a portable blanket. Generally remains on its body, like your squirrel, rats, rabbits, etc. Then I already depicted to you. You find the vibrissae just under the nostrils or nose. These are very tactile by nature. These are called as tactile receptors, having the several nerve endings around their bases. So, by vibrissae, generally the cat, rat can be flavorful and also known well. The holes or debris also be better for them to remain in there, and they can easily traverse through the holes by using their vibrissae. Okay, and eyelashes and hairs in the around nostrils and prevent the dust particles. You see your eyelids with the eyelashes, and eyelashes usually giving the protection to the eyeballs from the dust particles. And it is also derivative of the hair, and hair which are present in the nostrils, and that one also prevent the dust particles when the organism can inhalation the oxygen from the outer environment, and in there they will be filtered out by the presence of the hairs. And long tail hairs of the cow or horse help in getting rid of the flies and other harmful insects at the place of the anus. And anus will be remaining as well protected. No fecal matter should be contact with them, and no flies, no other organisms, microorganisms comes contact with the body. Okay, such type of details you must find in case of the horse, in case of cow, buffaloes, and also rhinoceros. Okay, that get rid of the flies and other harmful insects from there. Okay, lastly, you know about the modification of the hairs. Hairs have the several modifications, and generally they will be modified into the bristles and squares, spines, scales, horns, etc. and are variously used in also industry. Okay, and these are the functions and also modification of the hairs, and you already know the different types of the hairs and also their functions. Okay.